Tracing the outline of a year of COVID, the hand of a patient gently soothed. We don't know who that person was as they barely clung to life. We don't know who the nurse was, but we can see the compassion in that white line. These are photos taken by staff and for staff on the Royal Brompton Hospital's intensive care unit. It's a way of untangling their emotions from this year.
I think the tracing paper is really interesting. It kind of gives a haziness to the photographs, which kind of expresses how a lot of us feel about the year. It's a little bit of a blur. And I think you have to work quite hard at reading the white imaging, the white writing. I think that's quite poignant as well. You have to lean in, you have to look closely.
If you look at the picture, you will see that the entire team, every member of the team is doing something, focused on something. The nurse will just have the ventilator, then the doctor will just look after the patient airway, so it's always safety. What I feel when I look at that photo, reassurance.
This is not just intensive care, this is also the ECMO unit, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, taking over the work of the heart and lungs. That's the technical part. The more difficult element is that these patients who end up on these machines are being given a last chance. The ventilators have failed. This is their only hope. A year ago, we were filming on this unit when an alarm went off. A patient was having a heart attack. We didn't know who he was. We didn't know until now whether he had even survived.
I remember we were struggling with him in particular because his heart was stopping all the time, and we were having a really hard time to bring him literally back to life every time that was happening. And after all this time, all this effort, all this struggle, when you see these patients coming out, walking literally from the hospital, it's worth it.
That's the only thing we can...
That patient having a heart attack was 42-year-old Raj Nahir. He spent more than 60 days on ECMO, more than any other patient in the first wave.
That I'm still alive is unbelievable. This experience, what I'm going through now, is totally different. Life is changed, totally changed.
But the stark reality is that you cannot come that close to death so many times and just return to normal.
The day-to-day life when I'm seeing myself is difficult. It's another 2 years or maybe 3 years because of my weak lungs. I won't be able to pull through because I can't squat myself. I cannot sit down on the ground. I get a little bit of breathless. It's a little bit difficult on day-to-day life.
Early in the morning, I think 7:30, I had a call saying that he's got a really bad sepsis that he won't survive after coming off the ECMO. So it was like we were taking a little step ahead and we were taken back 10 steps. Even now, he doesn't know exactly 100% what happened to him because I just tried to show him. I used to record every single thing, and just once I gave him the phone and he just had some photos in my phone. Not even 1 minute, he burst out in tears and he said, "Please don't show me this again."
There is an almost unbreakable thread that binds the Nahir family now with the ECMO unit and its staff. The work here, of course, continues. There are still 5 patients fighting the unbelievable damage this virus can cause. Yet it feels different from when we were here a year ago.
Now we can come into the corridors in just our surgical face mask.
What went through your mind when you could see that second wave?
I mean, I suppose in a way it was like the first time. You never quite knew when it was going to stop or how quick the admissions were going to start coming. So you always just had to have some sort of plan in your mind about where you're expanding to next. Where are the team coming from? How can we best accommodate this? And we had examples of success stories so that staff knew that it was possible, I think.
We've got all our other patients that needed to come and benefit from our specialist care. That actually is probably the moment for them to come and having their procedure or interventions or visits. So I think we're keeping other pathway reopened. But it's good to see actually we don't have only COVID in the unit indeed, yeah.
New data shows that across all the ECMO units in England and Scotland, they have a 74% survival rate. It is better than many could have hoped. Because, as Dr. Ledoux says, this is more medically complex than any virus they have ever encountered. Now, though, it's time to take a breath. For the patients, a breath to survive. For the staff, a breath to revive.